Today I'm changing the spark plugs on a 2004 Honda Odyssey, and I've been worrying about this for a long time, partly because it was running perfect. It had 120,000 miles on the spark plugs. Of course, I don't know how it's going to run with the new ones. I hate to work on a car that's running perfect, but I got the exact same numbers and markings on the new plugs as the old plugs. And then one other thing, the way to do it is there's a good video on A1 Auto has a good video on how to do it, every wrench you need and everything like that, every socket. But I just wanted to say that it's not too difficult. It's not real difficult. One thing is you can get to the back plugs. It's a V6. So 3 of them are in the, between the driver and the engine, basically. And there's room, there's space. I had a Lexus that you had to disassemble the intake manifold to change those 3 back plugs. The only other thing that's a little tricky or odd or something is there's a long tube. This is the coil. So the tube is this long, and the plug is down here. So when you unscrew it, the socket I have doesn't grip the spark plug, and incidentally I've got it taped on there so it can't fall off. And so to grab the spark plug, I just use this tube. It fits on it ideally, and I can grab it out of there. And then I also install it with this tube, and so you don't want to cross thread it. So this tube isn't really going to cross thread it, but you still want to be careful, and then screw it in. One thing too I hate is sometimes the spark plugs will, if the threads are kind of gummed up, and see these are rusty, then it'll be hard to tell if you're screwing it correctly because you have to turn it kind of hard. But and another thing is that's why I like to put a little dab of grease on there. Although they tell you you're not supposed to do it. And I'm also putting a little dab of grease on the coil screw. I just don't like to install stuff dry. So that's about it. Like I say, check out that video of A1 Auto. They'll show you exactly how to do the work. Oh, one other thing. When you go to tighten them down, they have a washer that squishes, and so you have to turn it several turns to kind of, well, not several turns, but it'll kind of start getting snug, and then you squish down that washer. So I'm using a torque wrench to be accurate, and I got it set to about 12 pounds. One other thing is one of the hardest parts is getting these things off, and you have to really push this little clip, this little catch, to get it to loosen, and it won't come off until you get it loosened. Until you get that catch pushed, you can see it moving a little bit. It helps to have strong fingers. Well, let's see if it'll start. This is one of those moments of fear that I live for. Although since I went by the book on everything, except possibly the grease, I don't see how a little dab of grease is going to hurt. Now, I looked for electrical grease for the screws that hold the coils on, because that makes an electrical connection, but I couldn't find any. But I just used the tiniest dab near the threads, so. Well, that's odd. That's very odd. One thing about this car, it doesn't sense. I think all my other cars sense if you leave the lights on accidentally. But this one doesn't do that. It does have this switch where you can turn them off. So all these lights were on. They ran the battery down. It's taking a lot of charge. I usually don't see that needle go that high, although it's within the parameters. Well, let's see if it's enough to start anyway. So I'm anxious to see if I'm gonna have a car to drive to DC or not.
Day 10. It's so easy. Text us now. Martha and Marley's spoon meals are easy.
It seems to be running. It's running. I still gotta put that. Actually, you know, that's a kind of a mistake I just made. Is I'll be careful starting the engine when you got junk sitting on it. I got a plastic bag here. You get trouble, get caught in that. But I got away with it another time, I guess. It's hard to remember everything.